What's up and welcome. This is my 2017 Ford Focus ST1 and I just hit 61,000 miles. That means I've officially put 50,000 miles on this thing. And today I'm going to review it. I'm going to share my experience on owning this thing for 4 years as well as putting 50,000 miles on it. I'm going to tell you some things I like about it along with some things that I don't like about it. I'm going to give you an overview on everything that I've done with this so far, and then I'll go over some future plans with it. If you guys do enjoy this video and find it useful, feel free to like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. All right, to start, I'm going to give you guys an overview on what is already done to this thing. So we'll start here on the exterior, and please don't mind that this thing is so dirty. But one of the most obvious parts about this car is the wheels. These wheels are Vorse TR4s. They're finished in hyper black. And the tires I'm running are Vercelli Strada 2s. And honestly, these are perfect tires for enthusiast driving around corners, going quick if you want to. They're great in the rain, and they're really quiet and comfortable. I have no complaints about the tires. Honestly, really happy I went with them. They're also really cheap. And as for these wheels, I just love the color. I love the design of them. It goes well with the rest of the car. But my favorite part about them are probably this like outer lip, as well as these fillets that kind of concave and form into that outer lip. It looks pretty good. And also to complement it a little bit are the factory red Ford performance brakes. They look good, and I do plan on going with the RS upgrade in the future, but that's a future video for a future time. And since we're down low here near the wheel well, we do have these ZL1 add-ons mud flaps, which honestly are so nice. My friend actually got them for me, shout out Cody, and they just form perfectly from the wheel arch and with my offset onto my side skirt. I mean, even here in the rear, it just looks so good. It's a perfect OEM Plus upgrade for these cars. In my opinion, I think it looks amazing. And now, obviously, you can see that we do have side skirts. These are Maxton design side skirts, and this is actually a custom piece. With the help of some friends, I went ahead and painted these tuxedo black. So as we get close, you can kind of see that we have some nice flake going on in here. It's a perfect complement color to the magnetic gray. And not only do we have Maxton design side skirts, we do have the V3 Maxton design front lip. And you can see that I also custom painted this one. I took off the little Maxton design front sticker and I filled it with Bondo as well to make this front edge flat. And then of course we went ahead and painted it tuxedo black as well. Moreover, on this front profile, we have the blacked out Ford logo, as well as this black ST inlay. And you can see that we haven't done our grill shave yet. A lot of people do the grill shave. That's another thing I plan on doing in the future once I get a front mount intercooler installed. Now onto the mirrors. We do have the classic Amazon sequential mirror turn signals. Pretty nice. Also, I didn't even mention this yet, but these are 20% tint all the way around. That's everything except this front windshield. I do plan on doing about 50% on the front windshield pretty soon. Moving a little bit towards the back, we do have the stubby antenna. Looks good, nice and OEM plus. Now moving over to the spoiler, I did rise it about an inch and I went to Home Depot and just got all the fasteners and whatnot. That came out really nice. That was probably like my third mod that I've ever done in this thing. And on top of that, we have a Spoiler King eBay kind of lip that goes right here on the top of the spoiler. It gives a nice little more aggressive look to it. I think it looks pretty good. These are the Spec D smoked taillights. These are not sequential, but if you do want to change the entirety of the rear end of your ST, that's one thing that will make a huge difference. Honestly, when I put them on, the car was very different, and it looks really good anyway. Over here on the very rear end, we have our Focus logo completely blacked out in Plasti Dip. We also have our Ford logo blacked out, just like the front, as well as the ST logo blacked out. And to match all these black accents, we have our diamond black AWE exhaust tips. This is the AWE non-resonated touring exhaust. Honestly, fantastic exhaust, hands down for a daily driver. Last but not least, we have our reflectors tinted, as well as our third brake light tinted. and I do plan on going with the maxed in rear valence pretty soon. That's just something down the road. As for the exterior, that's pretty much it. If I am missing anything besides my license plate, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. All right, and so now we can move on into the interior. So since this is a Focus ST1, that means that this is the very most bare bones model that you can get. So we do not have leather Recaro seats. We have the cloth seats, which honestly I don't mind. And they're still pretty comfortable, and they still hug you around those corners and stuff. Another thing that I don't have is a heated steering wheel, unfortunately. You can see our blank button right here. We don't have a heated steering wheel. And additionally, we unfortunately do not have a touchscreen. But honestly, Bluetooth, really don't mind having it. Over time, yes, I wish I did have it, but it is what it is, not a big deal. And now talking about the things that I've done to it, I added a lot of carbon fiber on the inside. So we have the door pulls, we have this inlay surround. We have these inlays on the steering wheel, as well as this instrument gauge up here. Obviously, we have the Ford Performance ST carbon fiber shift knob too. And that stuff also goes for the passenger side. Now what I have done to it up here, obviously G59 air freshener, as well as a dash cam. It's a mirror and a camera that shows the front and rear of the car. So if I click here, you can see the rear of the car. It's pretty cool. This is a Cartier dash cam. They discontinued it. And it's pretty cool because it's also voice controlled. You kind of have to yell at it. So show front camera, show rear camera, show both cameras, turn off screen. Pretty sweet. And besides that, we also have these little inlays for a lot of the little storage compartments. It makes cleaning it a lot easier, honestly. And they look good because they also match a lot of the red that we have going on in here. I think the last part about this interior is the LED lights that I've installed in the cabin, as well as the footwell. We have red on the footwell. These are just from Amazon, as well as the rear trunk. And obviously I have this light bar here just for the sake of the video. And next we can talk about the engine bay a little bit. So you can probably already obviously see that I do have a Mishimoto cold air intake, and I'm not running the lid because I like the sounds. I know that's a very ST owner thing, but it sounds good. And it's an effective cold air intake for when you do go full bolt-ons. Over here we do have a carbon fiber fuse box cover. Looks good. Plan on getting the battery cover as well to match it. It's probably hard to see, but I do have the sound composer delete, and the vacuum source is routed to a HKS blow-off valve. So that means we also have the CPE exhale kit with the HKS blow-off valve on it. And honestly, that was an intermediate kind of install. It was a little difficult, but we did get it down, and it sounds fantastic. Here under the car, I have the TB Performance 4-point gusset, as well as the CPE Stage 2 rear motor mount. And honestly, that's pretty much it when it comes to the engine bay and some of the power mods. Onto some of the more annoying things that I don't like about this car. Again, a love-hate relationship. Some of the materials. The thing I hate about this, the carpet sucks. The carpet is just so cheap. It just sucks, dude. I mean, even vacuuming it out, it all frails up and it gets all nasty like this. There's no reason that it should be like this for the way that I take care of it. But yeah, the carpet kind of sucks. It's really annoying, and it does look pretty bad at some parts. And since we're in this area, another thing that I absolutely do not like about this car is the way that the pedals feel. The accelerator is fine. The brake is a little funky. You have a little bit of weird play. Now that right there on your foot, you can feel it. It may not seem like that much, but you can feel that little play on your foot. And the absolute worst, the clutch. Look at this. What is this? There's no reason that this should be here. This is just random play that does absolutely nothing. And now the clutch goes all the way down, like so. The bite point is a little funky. It's inconsistent. It does not feel good. I don't know if I have any kind of error in my line. I'm not sure what's going on there, but this has been kind of a thing ever since I've gotten the car at 11,000 miles. Here's another one of my dislikes about this car. So I don't know if it's just my car or if it's a defect or something, but the key fob. The key fob is terrible. You could see it takes forever for itself to recognize the key fob. And now this is just so annoying. I mean, it just sometimes doesn't recognize itself, sometimes it does. And I have replaced this battery several times on this key fob as well as my spare key fob. And just the same thing happens. I'm not sure if it needs a reprogram or a whole new key fob, but I'll take care of that sometime soon, because going into the winter, I don't want to sit outside and spam the unlock button while I'm waiting in the cold. It's just not going to be nice. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It's right here. Yeah, okay. That's really annoying. That's very, very annoying. I think that pretty much sums up everything that I've personally done to the car. If there's anything that you guys see that I missed, please let me know. And now we're gonna hop in the car, go on a ride, and I'm gonna tell you some things that I like and don't like about it. And I want you guys to keep in mind that in my use case, this is my enthusiast daily driver. All right, my friends, now we're in the Focus ST. And one thing that I just have to say straight off the bat, I have a love-hate relationship with its power. So when it comes to its power, you know, low to mid-range, it's actually pretty decent. You know, if you have to get around somebody, you can. If you want to have some fun, you know, you can do your pulls or whatever. But I'm telling you, right after 5th gear, this thing falls flat on its face, and the power band just kind of flattens out. But the power it's good for, I would say the power is good for its price. Being nowadays like a pretty cheap car, the power is good and it feels good. It's very torquey, and of course you could always tune it and make it a lot more torquey. You can go big turbo, do whatever you need to do. But I would say the power is one of my favorite, but not so favorite things about the car. Obviously it depends on your application, but I'd say I don't mind it for now. Like I said before, I definitely want to go just full bolt-ons with this thing, and that should be good enough. One of my other favorite things about this thing is the sound. With my intake and exhaust setup, having the Mishimoto cold air intake and the AWE Touring exhaust, it sounds amazing in my opinion. When you get to the higher RPM, it doesn't really sound that good, but like the low, like I guess below like 4,500, it sounds pretty good. You know, but if you're sitting in a parking lot like an idiot rev bombing it like above 5,000, then at that point it just doesn't sound good at all. But I do like the intake, the fluttering and whatnot from the turbo, if you can hear that. And the exhaust sounds good too. It's got no drone at all, so if I'm on my way to work, whether it's on the highway going 70, 80, whatever, or if I'm just taking side streets, I'm in the neighborhood, it's very quiet when you want it to be quiet. It's loud when you want it to be loud, and there's no drone. That's literally like the best part about it. Just, it's not in your head. It's fantastic, and I would highly recommend this exhaust to anybody with a Focus ST. The other fantastic part, and one of my favorite parts about this car, is the handling. The handling is actually really good, and with me only having a couple of handling mods, it's a lot of fun to just throw around in the corners when you want to. You know, whether you're merging onto the freeway or whatever the case may be. And the handling is pretty good for such a stock car and, you know, kind of commuter hot hatch. It's pretty good. And that segues me into the next favorite part about this thing is the amount of aftermarket support you have for these cars. It's abundant. There's so many different things you can do to these cars. The aftermarket support for this car, it's pretty abundant. You can go online, you can really find anything you need. I mean, it's a Ford Focus at the end of the day, but when it comes to the ST, there's a lot of people that sell a lot of things for this car when it comes to handling, power, you know, literally whatever it is. And honestly, at this point, since it's such a kind of older platform, you can go on Facebook Marketplace, you could find something for sale for cheaper, go on the forums, find something cheaper. At that point, you can get more mods for cheap. Who doesn't like that? And this is very opinionated, but you love it or hate it, the exterior styling of it. I think it looks good. It's a sporty, kind of low-key hot hatch, and that's just kind of my style, and that's what I really like and have liked for a while, so I like how it looks. And then obviously the best part, it's manual, dude. It's a manual daily. Who doesn't like a manual daily? A mean, being a car enthusiast and having a manual daily, there's nothing better than that. I mean, obviously, if you hit traffic every day, it kind of sucks. I don't personally, which is great. For something so low-key and sporty as a enthusiast daily like this, honestly, you can't even beat the price for it. I mean, nowadays, the market's a little funky nowadays. A lot of these have a lot of miles on them nowadays, and people want, you know, a gazillion dollars for them, but there's always going to be that diamond in the rough. You just got to be patient if you ever want to get one. And now some things that I really kind of bug me about the car is, I don't know if it's a Ford thing, I don't know if it's a Focus thing, but the rattles. The rattles are, it's absolutely unbelievable. I'm sure you've probably heard some at this point, but some of the rattles, dude, it's unbelievable how many rattles come out of this car. And you know, I like to listen to my music pretty loud, and that is just, you're rattling yourself, your soul, everything in the car. We're here at the lovely roads of Mexico, pretty much going to do a couple pulls and whatnot and talk about some more things. But anyway, the handling, dude, the handling's great, man. Just kind of mess around. Just feels good, you know? Now, some other things that I've already probably said I don't like, dude, the rattles. The rattles are crazy. Like, I get one right here, and it's just, it drives me absolutely nuts. That's definitely one thing that I don't like about it, is the rattles on the interior. Other than that, I mean, the steering wheel is fantastic. It feels good. Everything you touch is nice. But when it comes to the rattling, man, it's just kind of ridiculous. Another thing that I don't like about this, the climate control. Again, I don't know if it's a Focus issue or if it's this car specifically, but whenever I go to turn it on, sometimes I'll have it at, like, let's say I'll have it at my feet. It'll come out and blow at my face, and it'll come out my windshield. I don't understand what happens there and what goes on behind the scenes, but there's something wrong with that, and that really bothers me, because sometimes I'll have cold air blowing on my face, but in reality I also have it blowing on my feet, and my feet get freezing cold, and it's just uncomfortable. And that's just kind of a small little pet peeve about it, but definitely something that's wrong with the car that I don't like. And also, I guess while we're sitting here, another thing I don't like, obviously you guys have seen, is this little keypad. Not having a center screen. That's, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous the way they design that. I mean, I'm not gonna be sitting here typing out people's numbers. I mean, let alone I can't even remember half the people's numbers. But I think that's pretty ridiculous, and that's definitely something that I should have done when I first got the car, was upgrade the stereo. But now at this point, I've already dealt with it so long, it's not worth putting more money into the stereo. I'd rather just do other things. Got some more fun roads. Thing I want to talk about is the reliability of this car. I personally haven't had any issues. I've had a sway bar end link go out on me, and that's probably because we just have terrible roads around here. But other than that, that's pretty much it for reliability. I rolled down the windows and I changed a little bit of the GoPro settings, but back to the reliability, I think its reliability factor is pretty solid. Given that these motors were mass produced, there's a ton of different parts and junkyard motors that you could pick up, so that's a good sign. And now for the big question, would I recommend this car? Yes, I would recommend this car. It's a capable, cheap, fun car that you can drive on your way to work. It's no race car. It can be if you wanted to, but it's no race car. And for doing a couple of bolt-on mods, it can sound pretty good. You can make it yours.
and you can have fun with it. And I know some people are like, oh, it's a Focus ST and this and that. It's just a Ford Focus. And I know the reputation of the Focus ST is somewhat not respected and whatnot. Honestly, I don't care. I really don't care about that stuff at all. I like this car personally. It works for me, and it's my car that I made mine, and I did everything that I wanted to do to it. So I don't care, and it's your problem if you care about what other people say. But anyway, at the end of the day, I would say this is a fantastic car. Still is a fantastic car. There's a lot of them up for sale. You can really find them on Facebook and wherever else. There's always going to be a Focus ST out there for sale, whether it's a Focus ST 1, 2, or 3. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to some things that I like and don't like about it. I think it's a solid car, and I'm very, very happy and thankful to have this thing, man.
And now I briefly want to talk about some things that I still plan on doing with this thing. So my goal for this car as a daily driver is just to go full bolt-ons, tune it, and then call it there. And we'll just drive it and enjoy it. So at that point, that means that I have to still install the CV fab front mount intercooler, the 3-inch whoosh catless downpipe, and then some other miscellaneous things that aren't really full bolt-on related but are upgrades are the front RS Brembo upgrade. I'm gonna be doing that, powder coating those red, getting it all nice and pretty, so then once we get a little bit more power, we also have the braking power to back it up. And also it just looks cool, and I think it would look good on this car anyway. And now, if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it, but I'll reward you a little bit with some numbers. So I got this car back in the lovely year of 2020, back in July, and I got it for $16,600 with 11,000 miles. What more of a deal is that? I couldn't even tell you. Pretty good deal. And now I was originally looking for a Ford Focus RS, but to see this thing go and me pass up that deal, I just couldn't. And honestly, I'm really happy that I got this thing. I mean, I've learned so much, and I've even met some of my absolute best friends through just owning this car. And honestly, I'm pretty thankful to have this thing till this day. So I guess now what we're gonna do is gonna go full bolt-ons and then just call it there. If anything changes, obviously you guys would be the first one to know. And you know, obviously we'll make some content on that. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And go ahead and follow my Instagram at rodell.auto. And would you buy a Ford Focus ST? Go ahead and leave that in the comment section down below. And in the meantime, I hope you guys take care, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.